The Tale of Genji, Sawarabi, Murasaki Shikibu, Kimi Denizu. Good word to minstrel songs of Sawarabi, if insidiously Medita of Akiko, because was a spring that is said to beat the light of day. Hayashi Yabu to the Nei if Ishigami. Stiffness. Young village also flowers carry bloom, even if it sees the light. Became smell ya or on the banks of the mountain cottage. You in the Uji is, and well, why he had been needed to live up to now. Seemed just like a dream. The current. Also, the color of the four seasons from time to time of flowers of bird voices. Saw both Akakor, listen together, thereby that the dodge to make a song. Kokoro Boso of life was also obtained a comfort and is also possible to discuss anguish. It what fun in addition would have had to myself. Be a beautiful, a sister kun that will be construed to be told by its own feelings that the shame to the body. Therein people who were deprived of the death from beside the Takara. Cannot be to do with the dark feelings. 'Tis sadness to slightly masa was sadness longing when it become re died of chichemia. But continues to come tan about unexpected convict also Tetsuno of the day. The numeration if there is it has been determined. Also the unexpected died even want to die was found to be one of the sorrow of life. From the place of Acharya Matera. Would you like to come in what your situation later in this year changes? Pray to the Buddha Zatashi all the time. It is now I just continue to pray and it is happiness for you like your one. Accompanied by a letter that like, put in a tasteful basket the bracken and horsetail. As is the description, this is what child is dedicated to Buddha looking to the mountain, is Hatsumono. And also it had been written, etc. The next song is written away one by one character to large in the scribble. Kimi in the first bracken become unexpected forget the normally if shika crime a year of Amada in. Please and I say let us read to the queen. Had been the wife addressed with. Is imagined that it would be the song that figured in hard. And I think Kimi in is shims to see the heart that is to say an awkward. That to leave the brush. Seems to be would be untimely to think you so deeply. And I feel drawn to heart in this more than the statements of those who are descended, decorated with many beautiful words, in order to have spilled even tears. Wrote an answer in itself. So Warabi this spring is the peak, which packed inner scene Sennaki person's shoulders to anyone. The use Matoya Tama was issued. People with the beauty of the Mori. Appeared to be a long glossy flare seems rather lady also had to lean a little surface for a variety. Of pensive, was very similar to Princess of the Total Angular. When I was in together as if there is also a special beauty to both. But it did not seem to be similar. From now happen is the illusion that is a large princess if I was Ukado. Kept a long time alone remains if it was intended to be looking at Tay and what I should accustomed to become the wife of the source Chuinagon wanted love with morning and evening. I think that is regrettable did not allow it of fate. Wives sorry it wanted. Kaoru of state also I hear that of there if there are people that come out all the time from more of. The house was also familiar with both, and yet become stunned with grief that was widowed in the Princess of the Total Angular Love. Are you in to hear what is said of that of Chuinagon and has become the people of watery eyes? It had sister Kun of Chuinagon and it was not a superficial. Was the love of the person seems to shim to learn to become more now. Hyobu lord of the house will be even more difficult as to recently be made to attend you to Uji. In order to become even impossible, it sported decided to Mukayo of you to Kyoto in Kaoru from spending a noisy time if there is such an inner feast of the imperial palace. Also melancholy, such as Kaneru housed in one mind. I will be able to talk to any one of the other. Was visited you a palace of Neoimia. Shimayaka of early spring of sky visible temple in place of the evening became come out. 13. While now you play the bale. It was roasted also love the scent of your favorite plum example. Kaoru is a little broken branches under the plum blossoms. Came into while holding in hand. It was to gloss feeling is remembered. Palace will think you pleased customers suitable for evening of this early spring. Poeru to the bottom without height, a passing mark in the flower nair and color to the heart of people who fold. When would you say that? Here borrowed base fold only, then mind the branches of Karu flower, asks the card of the viewer. I am troubled. Quote, Kaoru also I would like to thing in the joke. We saw the best suits the young nobles to see side by side. And it became the sad in the story. First temple that of Uji and if they do then became here. Kaoru also refers to the sadness that died in lover. The musings of continuous related to the person from the beginning until now. And the cage of its tail rear. As well as Shims to learn. Weeping beautifully. The was Hanashidashi so on with a laugh. Herd is to come in. Will come rich in delicate emotion. Tears brittle habit of the temple. While that of others is to sink your tears enough to squeeze the sleeve. Because the Asobasa and enthusiastic comeback there were. Heaven is also as if sympathy to the people of pathos. The sky with great haze is absent-minded. Even balloon vigorous wind from at night. Yet also disappeared lights come by the cold it seems winter. There was the unreliability such as Ayanashi the night of the darkness of spring. Speaking person, was not cease as it is to talk to people and it touched to hear. No matter how said Chuinagon became faith while not remember that clears up the mind. In the story of Kaoru that also caught the spiritual love like there is no Taki in the world. Also it becomes otherwise I think Shrine of the Will was not until the end necessarily. Because become you think indexing from himself it will allow. Otherwise there is in your imagination in other respects as Yingmin. Is well understood the feelings of Kaoru. It was to put out the word, such as sufficient to comfort sadness. One is watermark well the heart is your beauty of your appearance. What is Aika telling out Tan? Not solved the Musub or little by little as was a very seems to Kaoru as to become easier in the gas. When Asobasa the consultation to Chuinagon by trying to become a your middle to pick you up to the Kyoto temple also soon. They're it very pretty. And now that remains as had been thought painful and it will be my responsibility. Old people vestiges home also. So long as that queen of you like. Now did was in trouble in nominal go to visit my you. But although I think only of care is that it better. Not must be enough to let me. Things like harm your feelings on that thing is it not? And Kaoru says, it should be noted that the deceased previously referred to as think the same thing as their own. That wanted their marriage with you and also was a little talk. Have said in mind, such as the brother and sister with you in that it was to be the night of the bedroom did not mention. In my mind, there should be kept to give to his wife as a consolation of mind of the day that is so much grief. And the temple was and was able also to welcome the people. But as to the Kyoto about to be made, sorry feelings it is going to become finally deeply. That there is no effect even think anymore. Yet if I have all the time languishing it, it will come out even mine that you want without that. Not help but no. It is for us the house. You in. This person this and must also such laughed person for it had repented. About anyway you and other Shitaku of supposed to move to Kyoto. I think to myself other and nobody is not a person to become a force Kaoru. We're allowed to. Such as had made of a variety of goods at hand. Beautiful young wife in Uji. Such as looking for hired the dojo. But wives ice are immersed in the feeling of happiness. Are you in whether finally become that go away the mountain villa of Uji of the bequest of Chichimi Akoko Robosoku Teitanbi just him. It did not feel up to it also decided to solitary here to answer to loneliness saying or so. While not the ardent love from the temple also because while this was also the place that seems to be a little your sense become the Taurus you grudge against whether you think do with the unexpected may go become naturally distant relationship. If it is sufficient to among was you of that agony just whether. Because in was the fact that soon turned to February. Saw that coming is also swollen big bloom of the flower bud gets closer. It appeared to regret that go without looking at all the spring flowers. As Kagan, the destination throw away the mountain of haze. The anxiety that not even in their own home, love the house was inner in Omo and I, and secretly believed also sincerely lonely future. Not be considered to be unchanged forever. Period of mourning sister is a march. I thought you are a medium, to which is not trivial, also tired or supposed to perform the purification ceremony of removing clothes. Since the mother misses was the edge of enough not know the face, but did not have, so I think the miss. But there was the mind that you want to the mourning of the child as the place for my sister. This is bought by a definite it did not become car of the queen of the day of the purification ceremony. The people who served the precursor, such as Mom Origatano, were sent from more of Kaoru. Ori also carried come keep flower of string to a Hakanashi and haze of clothing we want. As subscript was this song. It was also awarded various similar clothing of spring flowers. Goods used in the necessity of Mitoyatama on the day which went moved to Kyoto. Which is also the was delivered aligned with the bits and pieces to care without showing us too large. The cage of something willing to Kaoru to show the caring of aspirations. Why fuss? There is no one, Nasaru dad ups to your brothers. I was teaching to you in and so on. Since this old woman of heart think deeply and not boon is auxiliary of the material, is to seek to know about the nature of the queen. Young wife, we have a familiarity to Kaoru from time to time come. Finally as princess becomes as if going to the place of the person of the other. Would that be? No matter how aboshi meshi the Katasama is missed. I had sympathy with Kaoru himself that stand to Kyoto of the people of Sanso came to visit in the early morning of the day of tomorrow. Examples have entered the room. Days and months will close the lover and my naturally. A large princess who with his wife. To welcome you to like you in this time to Kyoto. It has taken more of yourself first it was of the which was I think. How alive of time had a large princess. Recall the story was hard. Absolutely without us trying to avoid their own. Although there was no such a thing as blame their own absurd. Myself considering from the timidest finally to have ended without inspire more than a friendship. To that person, was sorry about the breast it is even hurt. North Fus Sumako whole of which was seen except for you from here to the altar room in the morning of Chichimiya also reminded miss, but was seen to go by. The chamber in the order is dark with each other and down all door I cannot see anything. My wife was also crying remembering the old days by that came of Kaoru. You lay become a mang for tears let at alone endlessly be flowing without end. Well I was unable to be here. But there is no what that what was the. I would like to also happy to talk at one end. Which was a continuation of the constantly unexpected I think the comfort of mind. Others. As in the example please do not treat scenes because would be sad supposed to remember deeply. Finally past enough difference. Quote. It has not relayed to you in from Kaoru. I do not want to think that it is rude. I will not feel even a normal now. Somehow because painful it is a withhold and should not be supposed to be or I would like your Stonehenge which is not unknown in the more such a thing. And to say, but you were fu unexpected reluctant in. Is me Jianda Sodor wife, at all against your favor. It was to be the talk of things over at the mouth of Fus Sumako and in grace good gloss. This time also there's a strikingly Masa was the wives of the eye is also amazing beauty than before. Is Kaoru which is equipped with the intercession of anyone there is no neat body. More of a man is this world it seemed my that there is in. You even also seems to miss the fact of late sister Kun to this person in. He had seen Kaoru by died in the body. Irreversible hard towards it. Today it would be alright better to refrain from pointing to the story because you must nay. Celebrated the auspicious. And Shunigan says, a little after a while, also, being where close to that of your mansion that now so come. Also because you are supposed to immediately transfer my house. As you say, well, the original orator in the Akatsuki in the middle of the night. To me, even if there is nothing patronized, if we were, please say you, among which we live, no matter how, also to try to do my for you like I have to, I think. Do you please with what I think is in trouble your impression no one, because care is the unexpected might do that to out, because cannot be performed even believe only a good thing your thoughts. Do you ask, and say, it seems to not want to leave this house forever, I have been disturbed, mine just have heard from. You say and the like come to close. Do not know, be sure you want, I would like to what you henge. Some places are off even words to going to say. You know that is very similar to Monogana Shiku wondering how I look it. Such as is also well large princess are. Kuchio Shiku and was supposed to be heartfelt, don't do this person to another think but should. Unexpected was Kaoru which we, because in there was that there is no effect, is such that the night in that earlier without topic. Such a thing has shown a more serene seal seems to be weather forgot. Tree colors incense was also superior of the plum of the close garden. The pass is not so hard to spend, even see nightingale is. Let alone people who are out and called Munya untimely hail unexpected spring in the old days. If spring seemed would be to hit the heart of quickly mistakes wind-blowing watermark. It is not even in the flower Tachibana stand a mix of the smell of the nobles of the flower of incense and the guests were able to draw it a long time ago. I miss my heart. In order to conceal the sadness of life, also in the comfort of Surezure life. Plum flower sincerely full of that I think were those who loved the sister-kun. People also eat incense Mukashi Satoshi loose flowers Mayofu mountain village to storm watch. To say the faint they not even say that Kaoru from placed on a nostalgia likely to own mouth. Sleeve touchy plum is root rice hollow food and be it hakoi to unexpected hara strange. And told the self-made. Hiding wipe the teen tears was Kaoru, not say too much. And I will Moshiagyo nothing of the story is something like this and I went to stand last to say. Kaoru says that you knowledge about your proceeding to the capital in the wives. I think that would be such as to leave samurai of that beard man caretaker of Sanso. A person to the control of the territory near here summoned and ordered also for cause and deliver the things about not shortage in the lives of their people here in the future. The valve is not likely also led according to the article of the hospital moving of you in to feel reproachful to you to live a long life of its own med and a variety of things. Because it will think that Bukimi old lady even look human. To say that, as it is believed that no more yourself there had become a nun, and in the room had been holed up Kaoru by force call. I saw the person of the poor in unusual vestiges. Always the story of the large princess Kaoru was like to the eye from time to time of such I'm going to come in the future here. Though discouraging is gone, know the people is very happy for you to us remains to after. Everyone also had to cry it is not possible to say such. You thank Urameshu also Edo enough to extend we will life be Edo the world. Also it is to think you and familiar do with me. Thank Urameshu also the queen and what became a death you throw away. For life it is now thought to be deep also sin of you have become Kataiji Te. And, but was the sound obstinate woman who was also old the appeal of the valve feelings into the nun. Kaoru had better say comfort. Although very year is taking. In order to become a nun amount of combing back truncate the hair the relic was beautiful in the old days. Rather was also it seems that there is a little younger look ya taste. From the heart that do not bear the love of the deceased. Why would have did not and none is desired of that person. Do not do be if the element or life had survived, and served the Buddha and two people. I wanted to continue to make more and more delicate intimacy, and to Kaoru to even think such a thing is, and has been mountain behind even Amasugata of the valve. Doing pull the kicho you have to hide the body to the little horizontal. Approachable it was a deep variety of story. Although they are like blurred apparently. I see the mark of sophistication, such as the signs say things. It is envisioned that had a beautiful young day. Better if life which is not delayed in person it threw himself into the river of tears that stand. Earlier, none of the valve in a sad expression said, it also you will be deep in sin. Rarely is it to go to such a death the way the city is in paradise. And I do not. That is also though we'll have to have long dark chew. Give up any empty most of you say. That. And also Kaoru taught. Flipped his servants forget to Koishiki even sink to the river of tears just through himself Seto people. What time will be discovered that the Nagasamu the heart a little, even if you come. Quote. And Kaoru says, was the feeling that brought inspire no end sorrow. Japan also was at a one that continued to pensive not willing to go back. But it was Bellflower I think because prone to lead to a suspicion of people who will stay in this state. Source sad is told to you in the state had the Chuinagon. Valve had become foo hard to even more comfort. By foo other wives fun. The valve well it is or have to walk to go through the parlor to the makeup or have become hooked. Became ugly old-faced as so things in tomorrow's prepared. Show the seal seems more and more recluse. People in the back of everyone hurry stand Mel sleeve wonder if Taruru sweet one person Moshiho. It appealed to you in the we get wet Naru my sleeves and different ya floats serving as a wave to the clothing of Hotaru Ruwama. Because he does not appear to have confidence to continue a decent happy life out into the world. Because I'm going to come back here also as the last hideout by. You can also meet if that happens also the UI. But become severely even for a while. Lonely and I think going to leave you with the remains. I proceed not mind will not proceed further. Also incredibly person who became your appearance. Such as. I because I like not those that do not the people Zuki I absolutely. Is the same feelings with such people. Please come also sometimes to my place. Quote. The queen was talking to Fu nostalgic like. If you're using a large princess. The hand tools. Such as stand and use were you in the middle to keep straining everyone to this person. Looking at you. Me very sad deeply your sister more than anyone else. Deep edges weather would not than there was from the previous generation. Also think ising you will be on the special thing. It is said such a thing. Finally Valve of the nun cry is crying child once loved the mother. Forced to suppress their own feelings also seem to be no now. Among the Sanso clean Katazuki. Made luggage. Your passenger car. Other car in were received in a row. 4 positions and ranked 5th in the people who served the precursor there were many. Hyobu lord of the temple but as was wanted to become very welcomed even by yourself. And it will be rather bad become very much. Even then was Hakarawa to become a welcome bride in the form of a fine line. But the worry has been Oboshimeshi. Also from better sources Chuinagon had been Taurus multiplayer a precursor. Although only approximate it is the lord of the temple Hyobu becomes your balance without oversight. Necessity of those bits and pieces. Such as cost everyone, was the Kaoru gave. If the departure is that the day sunset not be early to say also wife. Et al. In order to encourage some people of welcome. You are hurriedly in. Embrace the uneasy calm unexpected sad feeling that the place to go from now I think what place he. Became a man on the car while wife that Daisuke is. If either had to throw himself the Ureshiki also said oh brief given if common to Utagawa. To say, saw that as a smile. Is you in with a none of the mental state of the valve in which too was different I thought. Utomashiku, another person of the wife, etc. Also nay forget to be Koishiki to wonder if the mind to go ahead Zumo was today. The 2 people in the wife of the elderly who were long both. And all but had been a person who wants to become with large princess. By changing the selfish husband. Unexpected must say to them that good luck today Kimi and also think that the unpleasant world of that. Refrain the words were not said to be things. Know of as a long and steep yamaji of the road for the first time. was able to think to be cut off both terms without unreasonable of Urameshiku just thought the house to attend path. A look at the hazy moon of white came out 7 days. While Tansoku, the suffering of the queen, not accustomed to the distant road, also put what in the world to live apology in mountain month to go out from the mountain if re a gum. It was of being Kuchizusama with. Come to them to think that is doubtful that it would if the later is carried out moved Koshite to unusual circumstances only. That until now appeared to be was not even among the number of agony. Also want to go back to yesterday's world think we were. We arrived to the article of the hospital in a little around only 10 o'clock. Dazzling look at the car is drawn also insidiously into the inner gate that broke up the building. Without a number of the palace. Because the house was in came to come waiting measure the time any more that time. At your own to the car of place becomes your deviation. It became holding down your wife. Although it is needless to say that was just shining wife in the living room of decoration. Visible traces of well careful of the temple to the wife of the room. And it had been waiting for you in the ideal bride of residence. Or temple to become love to what extent, or as a concubine, saw that had definite on the 8th of the temple of the princess is thus suddenly Mrs. Hyobu sir. Prince had seen whether there's a control treatment in the world as a lover te. And it must have become to love you deeply recognized as a fine lady you in even the world. And I was surprised. Source Chunigan as would like to be transferred to Sanjo of the temple to the 20 days around. Because although these days it had been a variety of orders to come to there on a daily basis, was the place where close to the article of the hospital, in I want to know Yoso Nagara the sign of the night to get the you. Until that day, indulge at night, while you are staying in the still of the just newly built unexpected lived with people home. Come back the people of the precursor that was out to pick. It was variously reported. Kaoru Hyobu lord of the temples listen to that it is your state you wish to cherish you treat the bride at fu of your satisfaction is. Indeed, on the one hand to the feel happy, sincere people to give there was the of its own regret things you've let go to others been recruited to the chest as painful, whether it be the one which is not able to be irreversible. Monologue was also out of the mouth that is similar to such a groaning. She seen face domo ne become maho a boat paddling as such in the lake of Yaniho things. And it was also felt that I want to say a little worse by that night. Sadaijin is that the enshrine Kimi 6th to Hyobu lord of the temple. To where this was thought to February. Made such a surprising person to openly pick up as Mrs. and so than before. In 2 articles of hospital to see that now so come only. It is made to hear that we are uncomfortable once, and send only the occasional 6th to you Hyobu lord of the temple letter to become a thinker. Sorry it became kumte, since it is flashy carried out of the equation of Senclose had already even to the world of rumors. The formula had the day been thought to be unsightly also prolonged 20 several days. Although the adoption in the family of the inner ring each other is intended. Not be impressed. Regrettable is that only Chunigan of Kaoru to take to the son-in-law of another house. Or trying Metra Kimi 6th again in the person. Not the long secret myself that there was because losing the mistress of Uji-some even from the cage that is a melancholy as Sadaijin thought. I tried to let the intention of Kaoru to a certain person. Recently it has demonstrated the fragility of life is to hear the state, not to the other party in the unexpected can think of, such as that of marriage. But why when the will of until Chunigan to the Stonehenge, such as no mind that began to save from toward him in kindness. Temporary grudge against although, to Kaoru equipped of the place which is not woven without admire even in the brothers, was abandoned as causing by force Metra Kimi 6th, become a flowering of Yangchun. Kaoru lead the Mrs. Omo Iara of the Uji Sanzo as Isaji original main defunct orchid that fall to the inn of Sakura cash and easier and wind even when the gaze cherry treetops of the hospital in the near Nijo, Nioimiya. We went to ask for your palace so as to become pretty much come here. Look at Wasumanera view in Rashiku, wife of the nobles. The heart of suspicious longing while joy and happiness of the people was not extinguished in it. Kimi is getting missed in more and more. But true feelings are kind. Did not forget that the unexpected must be deeply asylum Kimi in. Although the temple and Kaoru had something each other to talk, as would be the temple is to come to the imperial palace in the evening. The car of Shitaku have been made, in order to have her come together a lot, such as precursor. Of the pair of west stood a reception hall. Kaoru to the place of the wife went around. Changes to when I was a lonely life of Sanso, such as Yukashi of the Mists is likely. Residents of Kamgawa that his wife had been Itanama here. Over the voice to a view of the show the shadow of the beautiful dojo. And you to the cell relay the news in. The Cubitus is issued. Convey the Stonehenge come people of Funu Kaoru with my wife from the era Uji. It was Kaoru. While live in a place all the time you close. What with you, it is to ask if there is no use to Mosu. We have a could not unexpected door withhold proved to be able to receive rather you blame when the thing was to Narina Reshi the inner. The world also now has the will change. Since the treetops of the garden of trees I have seen in the haze over. I often when the feel the shim to the body. Quote, and was relayed, things are of omowashi in a manner that the figure of Kaoru's pitiful likely to see. Have a large princess living in as expected the people are spared. If I've been greeted in place of that person, by the clothes the house, all the time it is news. And the like but could have been a little pleasant gate feeding be attached to the flowers and birds. And remember the sister Kun is better at the time of Uji. Such as patience itself was alive. Rather sadness also seems to bear was good. Had just Tsunoru of the love of the deceased. Wives also. To learn exactly of the world. Utauda Shiku unexpected not be made you deal with that Katasama. Please precisely because sporting now this you will, was to see that are not your kind of moderate par of that person like there should sports show you. The gratitude of the heart. Quote, but Wasa recommends saying, when you is suddenly and is still embarrassed things like leave the story in itself is a hesitation. Mia intends to become a going out is. In order to apply the word to Mrs. This was to come to the west of the pair. In a beautiful dressed. Makeup is also decorated. Was a temple like with buying look to see. The Kaoru had come here to see. Why do I Rasharu give Anani unfriendly seat? Because the person who is showing kindness to the extent I think that too is too much is to ye. Of the place. It more or less it should cans the danger is for me in the even. You might want Anani man if the snub is once you have also in folktales and rather become a repulsive by is what causes that. Your call to the nearby. Although it was said such a thing to his wife, also. But what about that discuss forgive worry too much? Because suspicious mind will be on the bottom. Both became so you say. If you in a good or no unexpected such a hassle if felt. Because was know that the were received of their own in rare favor. Just because became now only. Not the one that can be Utauda Shiku. As saying also that person. And look instead of Sister Kun. Although you think in the bit opportunity that can show your own mind you are grateful for that. Person is hope that it is sufficient. The sports a truly temple is to my back jealousy was painful. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.